Well, some good news, everybody. Apparently, you can creep just too close to the sun. A couple of weeks ago, I covered the story on this channel of a biological male who was bursting into Disneyland bathrooms and taking pictures inside the bathrooms of women and their kids without anybody's consent, violating numerous laws. Something that has allowed this TikToker to grow a massive channel doing this exact same thing all around the world. Well, prepare your thumb, prepare your mouse or pointer finger to leave a like, because I am now here to report and give you all the details around Lily Tino, the person who was doing this, and the fact they are now facing 5 years in prison. That's right. The Florida Attorney General has put their foot down and said this is not acceptable. Several brave women have come forward to say that they will, in fact, file formal criminal complaints against this creep, and they are now facing 5 years in prison if convicted. Now, will they get 5 years? I don't know. It's Florida, so perhaps. Well, Redux originally covered this. A woman on TikTok has announced that she is seeking legal advice after biological male trans influencer Lily Tino photographed her while using a female restroom at Disney World. Tino had been, quote, inspecting and rating women's bathrooms at the Florida theme park. Just to give you a little refresher and background, this is reporting from Redux.info. A woman photographed in a female bathroom by an infamous trans-identified TikToker has announced she's considering taking legal action against him for violating her privacy. Nicholas Sylvan Cantino, also known as Lily Tino, is a trans content creator with over 400,000 followers across social media. Cantino skyrocketed to notoriety after repeatedly filming himself berating frontline staff at restaurants after they accidentally misgendered him. His most viral videos on TikTok, which has over 39 million views at the time of writing, is a compilation of those incidents where he claims that being called sir, despite looking like a man dressed up in a woman's clothing, feels like a knife to the heart. Recently, Cantino traveled to Disney World in Florida, where he not only continued his usual content of being misgendered by waitstaff, but also continued to inspect and rate a number of the women's bathrooms at the theme park. This included taking selfies of himself just outside the stalls where many women were present. His experiences using the bathroom range from 9 out of 10 because he was supposedly told he looked cute to 2 out of 10 because he was given a weird look. In another video, he bragged about peeing standing up in one of the bathrooms. 10 out of 10 women's bathroom experience for a trans woman. Would recommend, he commented. A number of women were visible in the photos that he posted last week, resulting in mass comments on TikTok wherein people noted that taking pictures of women in public bathrooms without their consent and then posting it online is illegal in the state of Florida, and calling it a clear violation of privacy. Now, I would assume this type of thing is illegal everywhere, but I guess maybe not in California. For years, a very small group of people, in particular, in almost every scenario, it is trans women. These are biological men who say they're women. These are the ones that want to be in women's restrooms. They want to be the ones in the Planet Fitness women's locker room. It is my opinion, leave a like on the video if you agree, that these particular individuals, now I believe that gender dysphoria does exist and that there are a small percentage of trans individuals, not nearly the near 10% a lot of liberal outlets are pretending exists, but 0.01% of the population. These ones in particular, the biological men who are forcing their way into women's sports, women's spaces, women's restrooms, these people, in my opinion, it's a fetish for them. Making women uncomfortable gets them off. That's my opinion. Now, recently, Florida Statute 810.145 defines a bathroom, whether public or private, as a place with a reasonable expectation of privacy. Recording someone undressing or using the facilities without consent is explicitly forbidden, and penalties can include up to 5 years in prison. One woman caught up in Cantino's photograph recognized herself in the post and revealed that she was planning on seeking legal advice regarding the upload because she doesn't know what else was taken without her permission in what was supposed to be a private area where she can feel safe. The user has since made their account private, probably because they were dogpiled by insane lunatics on TikTok. Another user by the name of Caitlin Foster said that Cantino had been entering the women's bathroom in Disney World for a number of years, and that she had personally seen him a few years ago with her daughter. According to Cantino, who began transitioning in 2022, stood out like a sore thumb, and that other women were noticeably disturbed by his presence. He was doing a lot of observing. She posited that because he was standing around, he may have been waiting for a woman to confront him in order to make video content on the topic. Of course, that's the case. Cantino had made multiple posts where, quote, transphobes or trolls had confronted him before. This person has no business at Disney World, Foster concluded. Check this out.
As somebody who has personally witnessed Lily Tino in a Magic Kingdom women's restroom, this is my take on the situation. I was at Magic Kingdom several years ago in one of the female restrooms. As I came out of the stall with my daughter, I noticed what appeared to be a non-transitioned trans woman. I'm not really sure what Lily...
You should, by the way, lady, you shouldn't feel bad that you don't know whatever the heck it is to call him, because in my opinion, this person is just a creep. They are purposely going... Now, again, are there trans people, are there trans people that exist in real life? Yeah. And I bet you the ones that actually have diagnosed gender dysphoria, they're not the ones forcing their way into women's sports, locker rooms, or personal spaces.
Stood out like...
By the way, shout out on the Michael Myers shirt.
In the restroom. There were several people noticeably disturbed by their presence because it was very clear that they do not belong there. What I observed was a lot of standing around. Lily was doing a lot of observing. After they washed their hands, I admittedly kind of stuck around a little bit because it seemed like the older women that were in the bathroom were ready to say something. So I did kind of stick around to see. I have seen a lot of drama at Disney. It does happen. Nothing ended up happening, but what I did notice was that Lily did a lot of idle standing. It's really, at that point in time, no rhyme or reason for them to be there. And in a way, it was almost as if they were in there to make a statement, or in a way hoping that somebody would say something so Lily could be confronted about being in the women's bathroom. Really, nobody ended up actually saying something to Lily about the situation. They did loudly speak to each other in their own group when exiting, so I do believe that Lily heard the comment. They do not belong in the women's bathroom, and I feel truly, as somebody who has personally witnessed them being in the bathroom, and this is, again, before this was ever a thing. This was before I had ever seen anything about it. I didn't even know this person had a social media account. I remember this situation vividly because it stuck out for me.
Because it's a biological man in the women's restroom. Lady, you are 100% right to feel uncomfortable. You're 100% right to feel anger and to feel violated.
At Disney, once Lily became a viral situation, is when I realized, wow, as somebody who lives 30 minutes from Disney World, I have seen that person at Disney World before. This person has no business in the female bathroom. And at this point in time, I feel like this person has no business at Disney World.
Yeah.
In whole, I don't think that he's maliciously trying to harm anybody.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's trying to get people canceled for content.
Situation is extremely inappropriate, and the fact that Disney has not handled it, knowing that many people have reached out, is...
Writing in the New York Post, Christine Fleming said it was awfully bizarre to fetishize a toilet and access to a place where women simply want privacy. We want to get in and out. We don't want some creep in mini ears taking photos and posting them for the masses like it's some act of public service. As a result of his behavior, a petition has now been set up on change.org to ban Cantino from Disney parks and other places, which has garnered 4,300 signatures at the time of this writing. There's no chance on earth that Disney will ban a trans person. No way. There's no way. Of course, Cantino has now tried to scrub his past identity from the internet. One online people search service reports that he passed away in 2022, the year that he transitioned. He has further attempted to scrub content from his OF account, which people can sign up for $8.99 to see, quote, everything. Now, you can see this. Breaking: trans TikTok influencer Lily Tino now under investigation by Florida Attorney General for filming in woman's bathroom.
Okay, so really quickly, we have a friend, lives with TikTok, and she wanted us to ask a question about something that was going on that's very strange here in the state of Florida. Now, I know that DeSantis versus Disney is one of the hotter topics of the last couple of years. You ended up winning that brawl straight away. And I don't think Disney's functioned ever better, actually, quite frankly. A lot of things are changing in that area and region, and it's for the better, right? Sure. Universal just opened this massive new park. I haven't been there, but a lot of cool stuff going on there. A lot of big dynamic energy in Orlando.
Okay.
Tying through to what you just announced this morning about child trafficking, and tying through to predation, right, of vulnerable peoples here in the state of Florida. There was a TikTok influencer named Lily Tino, who is who's taking videos and photos inside of the women's bathroom in Disney.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. There's no way that this can be legal in the state of Florida, right? This is a transgender influencer. This seems to be first off, you shouldn't be allowed to film inside of bathrooms. It seems really creepy. But then here in Disney, it's extra layers of creepy and wrong. Is there anything happening from a state level?
Ready? Wait for it.
Yeah, we're investigating this. We do not tolerate men or boys in women's and girls' restrooms, gyms, private spaces, no tolerance. We're investigating this one. We've already cracked down on some gyms in South Florida. They were allowing people that identify as women to go into women's locker rooms. We put them on notice that legal action was coming. Thankfully, they changed their ways. Alachua County, a public school system, they had a camp.
I mean, this is great. Look, this individual can feel free to use the men's room. That's fine. Stay out of the women's room. 99% of the population agrees, and it's time to return to normal. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.